welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you back with us. I have an exciting show for you this evening, and I have an exciting guest. First thing I'd like to do is just tell you, I'm Tom Waters, your host, and the information we're going to bring to you tonight is going to cover substance abuse and transportation. We have an expert here that knows every part of it, and of course, you can't call in and ask those questions, so I'll be asking her a lot of questions. My guest tonight is Annie Brucato from Chicago, so another Chicagoan. So Annie, welcome to the show this evening.
Thank you, Tom. How are you? It seems like I was just here.
It does seem that way, and we're so glad that you came back because we have so much information that we want to talk about and information that I know you can provide. So with that, we're going to just jump right into it. But I do want to say, you know, in the last time you were here, you talked about transportation and substance abuse, but we ran out of time, which is why we rescheduled it. And since then, you have a new job that's going to help families and a lot of people. Can you tell us anything about that at all?
Well, Tom, I can tell you that I have transitioned over as a state employee with the Division of Child and Family Services, and I am a family support worker, so I'll be out in the field and working with families. Super excited about it, but that's all I can talk about right now.
Okay, well, the fact that you talked about that and you're going to be working with families, just the fact that we had the previous show where you were so intuitive and you had so much information that you provided just for the listening audience, and look at how much more you can do in working with families. I think it's going to be fantastic. It's definitely going to be a benefit to the families and a benefit to our entire community. So I just want to thank you for all that you do, and thank you for being here this evening.
Oh, you're welcome, Tom. Thank you so much for having me. Like I said, it seems like I was just here not that long ago, and it just shocks me that people still within the community do not know about our transportation here in Pahrump and in Nye County in general, or within the state actually. So it's super important for me to continue to spread the word about transportation here.
You know, when I think some of the listeners that have been watching this show for a while, when we first started, we had no public transportation in Pahrump. You took a cab, or you walked, or you borrowed a friend's car, or you hitched a ride, and now we have public transportation that can take you to any place around Pahrump and even into Las Vegas. So, and there are also things for veterans. I know you're going to cover all those items, but transportation is so important. And as it gets hotter, you know, it's hot right now, but as it gets hotter, when people are having to walk with grocery bags or shopping bags and walking long distances in the heat, it's terrible. So we have the transportation, and I'm going to say that why not use it? We have it, go ahead and use it. So Annie, tell us about what's available as far as transportation.
Well, we have a wide variety of transportation here, Tom. It just, again, really surprises me that people do not realize how much transportation we have here. We can start off with Integrity Taxi. That is our local cab company. They are also hiring at the moment. I believe that I spoke about that last time as well, but they are always looking for drivers, and as business picks up, they're definitely looking for more drivers.
Well, let me stop you right there because if they're looking for drivers, we're talking about providing jobs for people in the community. And do they have a certain age? I know you have to have a driver's license, but what type of license, if you know that? And anything else that will help, because we may have somebody out there that's looking for a job right now, and they can contact Integrity Taxi and say, hey, I want a job. But if you have any other information you can provide them, it certainly would help.
Those questions would be best answered by Integrity Taxi. So I do have their phone number, and you can direct all of those questions. Those are really great questions, too. I wish that I can give the answers to them, but I don't know those for sure, so I don't want to give false information. However, I can give out the phone number, and
Okay.
viewers can definitely contact Integrity Taxi and inquire about those positions and those jobs.
What is the phone number?
It is 775-751-1111, and that's Integrity Taxi.
Okay. So if you're looking for a job driving, Integrity Taxi can be at the top of the list. And Annie has so much more to talk about in the transportation area.
Yes, we can skip right through to Pahrump Valley Public Transportation. This is a huge deal because this has really taken off within the last few years and has really grown within the last, I would say, year and a half. It is an amazing organization, Pahrump Valley Public Transportation. I have their phone number as well as their website is up and running. It is a huge amount of information on their website. They provide rides through town. They pick up, we call it curb to curb. So if you call and you schedule a ride with them, it's $3 one way, and you can basically go anywhere within Pahrump. They will also start servicing Armagosa, I believe, and Beatty as well.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. So they have really expanded their their horizons. It's been amazing. It's been a work in progress, but it has been amazing that there is transportation out there, and that is so important for rural areas such as Pahrump and Beatty and Armagosa. Instead of walking in these extreme temperatures, the heat. I have a lot of elderly people that I've seen that had no idea that we had public transportation. $3 a ride. They will pick you up at your home or whichever location and bring you to whichever location, and you can schedule that ride. They also provide $25 round trip leisure rides to Las Vegas, which is really nice. That's for people who they just want to go and shopping, maybe go gambling, maybe go to a movie. It's a really cool service, and you just call and schedule that appointment, and they'll come pick you up and take you into Vegas.
Well, Annie, if you want to, say if you're going to ride around Pahrump, not into Vegas yet, but say you want to go someplace in Pahrump, and you say they come to your house and pick you up, how far in advance do you need to let them know about the fact that you want to reserve a ride?
Usually it is within 1 to 2 weeks to reserve a ride. However, if you call and explain the situation, if it's something that came up pretty quickly, they will do everything that they can to try and squeeze you in on an emergency to come and pick you up. They're very accommodating for sure.
Okay. And if you're going into Las Vegas, how long?
It's a week, 1 week notice. But again, if you call up and explain a situation, for example, I had a relative that became ill. I have to get to the airport, or I have to get into Vegas somehow and then make my way to the airport. That, you know, if you explain those things, they will try and accommodate you to try and get you there, if they have availability.
Okay, now it sounded like, and I just want to make sure we say it correct, if you want to ride just around Pahrump, how far in advance do you need to call?
1 to 2 weeks, usually.
1 to 2 weeks for a ride around Pahrump or Las Vegas?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And they come to your house, pick you up, and we're talking $3 one way in Pahrump, and you said $25 round trip to Las Vegas?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very economical. It's something that I think everybody could use. And like you said, this is not something that is fly of the night. I mean, this is something that we started, and it has grown and grown and grown. And it continues to grow. But as long as people continue to use it, it will continue to grow and get better and better and better. I know we have the Transportation Committee, and they meet once a month, and they talk about all the things that are going on with transportation. And Annie is always a part of that. So we're so glad to have her as part of that committee because she provides so much information, just as she's doing this evening. So go ahead, Annie, tell us more.
Well, I'm also going to provide the website and the phone number for Pahrump Valley Public Transportation as well. The phone number is 775-751-6860. And the website is Pahrump Valley Transit, TRANSIT.com. Lots of information on that website. Definitely check it out.
And, if they look at the website, they can get a lot of information. And then also, by calling the phone number, they can get more information and also make that reservation, whether it's around Pahrump or whether it's going into Las Vegas. So, and the fact that Annie talked about a couple other places that I didn't even know they had yet. So we're really expanding and just providing transportation for our communities. And I won't say community anymore since we're going out to other places outside of Pahrump.
Exactly, Tom. And with that as well, with Pahrump Valley Public Transportation, we are also doing transfers as well. So once you get into Vegas, so if you do the $25 leisure trip, once you get into Las Vegas, you can take that voucher and transfer with a different bus system in Las Vegas, and it's a free transfer. So it could take you even further out into Las Vegas. They have designated stops, and then you just transfer with them, and they even take you further. So it's really neat. It's a really neat program.
This is fantastic, and this is, again, good news for everybody. Now, we're running out of time for this segment, but we're going to continue transportation in the next segment. So get that pencil and paper and write down all the information that Annie is providing, and that way you have the phone number, you have the website, and come back and join us for the next session. Welcome back. We're so glad to have you back with us. And my guest, Annie Brucato, we're talking about transportation, and we want to continue on that vein. I do want to say again, the fact that Annie, like so many of you out there, are from Chicago, and Annie is from Chicago. I like to mention that whenever we have a Chicagoan on, since I'm from Chicago as well. So we talk about those things. But here we are in Pahrump, and I'll say in Nye County, because we cover Nye County, and we also go into Clark County. So those of you in Clark County that are watching the show, or those of you anywhere in Nye County that's watching the show, this is information that you can use. So we know we have a lot of visitors coming in from Las Vegas or Mesquite or some other places, and you're in Clark County and you're watching us and say, hey, I want to go over to Pahrump and see what's going on. And that way you know also about the transportation that's available for all of our residents. So Annie, let's get back to transportation. I know we've talked about the public transportation, whether it's a cab service, Integrity Taxi, or we're talking about the bus transportation. So, but there's a lot more. What's going on?
So there is a lot more, Tom. We have actually, we have a couple exciting announcements. One of them is with the Senior Center Transportation. They are amazing. They are doing amazing things over with the Senior Center. If you contact Jeff, and I can provide that information as well, with his extension, you can also, the rides are free with our Senior Center. So they will provide rides to seniors for free with a suggested $3 donation for pickup and drop off. But it's, again, wonderful. It breaks my heart that we have to see our seniors walking in this horrific heat. We have had record-breaking numbers of heat this summer, and we should never have seniors walking in that type of weather. It's super dangerous, super dangerous. So the fact that our senior center will provide rides for groceries or whatever, definitely take advantage of that. It's a suggested donation. So if you don't have the $3, it's okay. Maybe catch them next time. Or a lot of our seniors are on fixed incomes, but you should not be walking in that heat. Especially to like a grocery store or whatnot. It's okay if you want to get out and get a little exercise, but Definitely not during that heat to a grocery store. So I can provide that information. That would be Pahrump Senior Center Transportation. And that phone number is 775-727-5008. And that's extension 3. The gentleman's name is Jeff, and that is who you would want to speak with if you have any questions in regards to that service. I also have their website, which I can give you. It is PahrumpSeniorCenter.org, all one word, PahrumpSeniorCenter.org.
Annie, you're providing invaluable information for our residents. When you talk about seniors, these are the people that we really, really want to take care of. And to provide free transportation, as our senior center does, and again, with the suggested $3 one way, very easily payable. Most of our seniors, as a matter of fact, instead of just paying the $3, they give a donation of even higher because they really appreciate the transportation. But it's not required. So you need to know it's not required. It's a donation if you'd like to. So that's what that's all about. So Senior Center Transportation, we have the regular transportation, we have Integrity Taxi. Hey, we're going gangbusters here. Tell us more.
Lots and lots. Well, I have to give a shout out to Uber and Lyft.
Okay.
They do come to Pahrump once in a while.
Okay.
Sometimes you will see their little sign in the vehicle that says Uber or Lyft, and it's lit up. They do provide rides to and from Las Vegas to Pahrump and back. However, you would have to download their application at the App Store on your smartphone. So you would have to go to your Apple Store or your marketplace in order to download those apps. And then you can punch in, the address, and if they're available, then great, that's wonderful. We just don't have them out here full time yet. However, sometimes in some of the I need help or informational groups on social media, on Facebook, you will sometimes see a Lyft or Uber driver that is advertising that they are in town and they are providing rides to people. So that's also really nice.
Oh, this is fantastic. The transportation is just expanding and expanding. I'm not sure how much time we have left in this segment, but I know we have some time, so we'll keep going. Transportation is so important. It is very, very important. And when we have things like Uber and Lyft, and we can't tell you what the prices are, or anything like that, but like Annie said, if you download it on your phone, download their app on your phone, then you can go ahead and contact them and find out exactly what it's going to cost. But we do have the Pahrump Valley transportation.
Yes,
So.
Absolutely. And then just really quick, we also have Salt Lake Express. That is our big transportation. It comes from, it's a nice leisure bus. It comes all the way from up north, Reno, and all the way into Las Vegas and back. And they have several stops. One of them is to the airport, and another one is to the bus depot in downtown Las Vegas. And their pickup from Reno through into Pahrump, their pickup is at 9:50 p.m. every evening at the Pahrump Nugget. And it's $27 one way from the Pahrump Nugget into Las Vegas. Again, they do not have a kiosk at the Nugget. However, if you go on the website or if you call the number that I'm going to provide, they will show you how to purchase a ticket.
This is fantastic. That's one that I didn't know about. I knew we had something in the past, but to bring it back and have it, pick up every day, this is brand new. This is hot news. So take advantage of that. Write it down. Pass it on to your friends. Let your friends know. If you don't schedule it through the public transportation in Pahrump, you may just schedule it. You want to go out to the airport, need to go out to the airport. There's bus transportation there. And the price again, Annie, was how much?
It's $27 from Pahrump into Las Vegas and from Las Vegas back into Pahrump, which comes back the following day for the drop-off from Las Vegas to Pahrump. But there's also a stop in Tonopah. There's a stop in Beatty at the candy store. So these are all really nice things because we have kiddos that are all the way up in Reno at the college that do not have transportation. So instead of mom or dad flying them home all the time or going and having to pick them up for the 8 hours one way,
Yes.
we could just get them a ticket, go online, purchase the ticket, and have them come on down on that bus. It will take, will take about 8 hours, but that's wonderful. That's great.
Oh, me. That is fantastic. Again, this is brand new, and I'm so glad Annie brought this to us because it's not something I've heard about, but that's why I have guests on the show that bring you information that you can use. And Annie's bringing us a lot of information this evening. So, Annie, what else do we have?
So I was just going to provide the phone number for the Salt Lake Express bus.
Okay.
That phone number is 888-765-4796. And the website is saltlakeexpress.com. saltlakeexpress.com. And you can go on there and look at the schedule. You could purchase your ticket. Some of the stops, and they have tons of stops throughout the state of Nevada, they do have a kiosk or they will have a live teller there. Pahrump, unfortunately, does not. So you just go on the website, purchase your ticket. It is super easy. And if you have any questions in regards to transportation, you are more than welcome to contact the Nye Communities Coalition and ask for the transportation coordinator. They will assist you and walk you through that process as well. I have assisted and walked through many people on the website that couldn't believe how easy it was once we got on there. They said, that's it, it's only 3 steps, and it's literally only 3 steps. So it's super great.
Oh, this is fantastic. The transportation availability, and that's what we're all about, and that's what we're talking about this evening. We want to make sure that you know about the transportation that's available and how easy it is to get it and use it. It's not something that's going to be going away because it's expanding every month. Every month in our transportation meetings, they talk about how much more it has expanded. And so it's good to find out. But if you just call, and Annie gave you the number earlier, she's going to give it again for the public transportation in Pahrump. If you just have questions, you can call them and ask, well, how much does it cost? Well, we've already told you it's $3 each way. Not for the senior center, but for the regular transportation, $3 each way. And you call first to make a reservation, and they will pick you up at your house, take you to where it is you're supposed to go, or pick you up wherever you ask them to pick you up. That's the key. And it's information that you need. So Annie, you want to give that phone number again so they can call for public transportation in Pahrump?
Absolutely, Tom. It's Pahrump Valley Public Transportation, and the phone number again is 775-751-6860. And the most commonly used places that the services are used for is education, shopping, personal appointments, employment, medical and dental appointments, library visits. Any place you need to go, they will provide transportation to you. So it's really nice to be able to offer that service, and it is available. So use it, use it, use it, please.
And come back and join us in our next session. Welcome back. Look, I'm glad to have you back with us. And this session, we're going to be talking about substance abuse. And again, my guest is Annie Brucato. She's an expert in this area. And what we're trying to do is talk about the fact that so many people misuse substance. and we don't want any misuse of substance. So whether you look at abusing it or misusing it, it's all the same thing. And that's why Annie is here this evening to explain to you the difference and what it's all about and what we can do to help our friends, neighbors, and family. So Annie, I know you're the substance misuse specialist, and you have so much information, but I'm going to ask you to go ahead and provide our listening and viewing audience exactly what is it all about.
Thank you, Tom. So substance misuse is when somebody misuses or abuses substances. For example, you go to a doctor, you have a back issue, the doctor prescribes pain medication to you. You start taking that pain medication and then you start misusing it. You start taking more than what is suggested or prescribed to you, and therefore then you become addicted. And so this has been the vicious cycle that has been plaguing our nation for a very long time. And currently, we are really in an opioid crisis here globally. This is not just a Pahrump issue. This is not just a Nevada issue. This is not just a United States issue. This issue is global, and it is scary. It is wiping people out, and people don't even realize just how dangerous this is.
So when you talk about misuse of substance, it could be legal medication, legal drugs, not just illegal drugs.
Absolutely, Tom. And more often than not, we're seeing a lot of our seniors. A lot of our seniors are misusing opioids, especially because sometimes they don't even remember that they took their medicine.
Yes.
And that leads into a whole other beast of issues as far as overdosing, accidental overdose, because the medications that people have, they just don't realize how powerful they really are and how dangerous they really are. So this is a big issue. We actually receive, through the Nye Communities Coalition, special federal funding for programs such as what I was doing, which was the substance misuse specialist, where I would refer people and help people and connect people with different programs that could assist them in helping them with their substance misuse issues. So it's a really big problem. We've been hosting all kinds of really wonderful things within the community, and sometimes people see it and they get excited because they're like, what are you guys collecting? And then we tell them drugs. So if you see us out at Smith's and we have a nice fancy booth set up, and we have one of our deputies from the sheriff's office there, come say hi to us, ask questions. We welcome people to do those things. We want people to ask questions.
When you set up these different booths, is that a time when, if you have any excess drugs around the house that you'd like to get rid of, bring them to you?
Absolutely. That is exactly what that is used for. Those are called our drug take-back days. And that is no questions asked. If you have prescriptions that are laying around, that is super, super dangerous. If they're expired or you just no longer need them or want them or use them, please do not hang on to them. Please dispose of them. And we ask that you bring them to us so we can dispose of those properly for our community. We do not want you guys to take those medications and dump them down the toilet. That just goes right back into our ecosystem, and that's it. That goes into the soil, and that's just bad for the environment. So we strongly encourage and suggest folks to bring their medications to us, and we will dispose of them.
Now, when you say bring the medications to you, if you don't have your booth set up, say at Walmart or someplace else, how do we find out where you are, or where do we take the drugs?
First and foremost, you can always contact the Nye Communities Coalition here in Pahrump. They can direct you on where to go and take your medications. We have several boxes that are set up throughout the community. They are safe and secure, bolted to the floor, and we also have a deputy that will go and unlock them and take out all of the medications, bring them to we have an incinerator, I believe, that was donated
Yes.
at our disposal, and so they bring them there and then they're disposed of. They're weighed, they weigh everything, they log it, and then they dispose of them safely. So, but we have boxes that are at the senior center, so you can certainly walk in there anonymously, dump off your medications. You don't have to tell anybody what they are. You can also go to the sheriff's office. There's a box as well in the lobby. There is also a box located at the hospital, Desert View Hospital, and I believe that is it out here in Pahrump. I know that we have one in Armagosa, probably at the senior center there, and we have one in Beatty as well, I believe. We may have one also at the fire station. I'm not entirely sure though, but if you need to know where they're located, please call the Nye Communities Coalition and they will direct you on where to take them.
The one at Desert View Hospital, can you tell me exactly where that one is?
I believe that one is located in the main lobby at Desert View Hospital.
Okay.
And it's unmistakable. You'll be able to see it's a pretty large box. It's metal. It has a sign on it that says drug take back or drug disposal or medication disposal. So it's really a nice thing though to have. You certainly don't want your pets. We have so many pet owners out here. You absolutely do not want your pets getting into the garbage if you dispose of your medication. They can get very sick.
Yeah.
Also children, or if seniors have their grandchildren visiting or whatever. I mean, you do not want them getting into those things. So if you don't feel good about going and bringing your medications to one of those boxes and you miss the drug take-back days, which you can also find out through the coalition when those are, you can certainly ask for what they call Deterra bags. Deterra is a drug deactivation system pouch. It provides a safe and convenient and permanent disposal of unused, expired, or unwanted medications at home in the privacy of your home. And it's super simple. It's a bag like this. I don't have one to show you guys, but they do provide them for free at the coalition as well. So definitely check with the coalition. They will provide those for you. And it's super simple. You just take the medication, you dump it into the bag, you add water, fill it up to a fill line, seal the bag, shake, and dispose into your garbage. It totally deactivates whatever medications you put in there. And they're free, and you can fit a good amount of medications in there as well. So again, check with the coalition for sure.
I wish you had brought some of those bags with you for me.
I can bring you some, Tom, if you want me to.
I've got some excess drugs that I need to get rid of and expired. And I've been thinking, so this is perfect information for me. And now I'll go ahead and make sure I get rid of those expired medications. You brought up something else too, where you have a deputy to look into this or to be there. And when I have Sheriff Worley on, she's been my guest several times, and she's going to be coming back. That's a question I'm going to be asking her. We're bringing her back because we ran out of time on a lot of things that she was covering as well. But again, when you talk about, I guess, excess drugs or medications, we do need to have a deputy there to make sure that doesn't fall into the wrong hands. So.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Tom, you are completely correct. And unfortunately, that's just the nature of the beast. We live in a society where sometimes those medications can fall into the wrong hands. Yeah. Another program that we have through the coalition, through the Nye Communities Coalition, which is at 1020 Wilson Road in Pahrump here, is we have been assisting people that have a substance misuse issue with what is called MAT treatment, and that's a medication-assisted treatment, and it's the use of medications in combination with counseling and behavioral therapies, and it provides a whole patient approach to treatment of substance use disorders. So it's really neat because there are medications that they can now give to people who are on opioids or opiates,
Okay.
and it will prevent them from using or misusing. It's a really interesting, neat experience. They can also do it with alcohol. They can treat people that have an addiction with alcohol. So there are all different types of treatments that people don't even realize. And we have a provider that will come out from Las Vegas, and they will come out from Las Vegas and they will sit and talk to you and do an intake with you, and then they will provide that service to you as well. And they come to you, which is nice.
You know, when you mentioned that, I know you have a lot of this at the website, and I'm going to encourage everybody, go to the website and look at all the things that they have available at Nye Communities Coalition. I mean, there are trainings, there's classes, you name it. And again, all of this is at the website. So go to the website, look at it, and try to find anything that's going to be beneficial to you. That's what it's all about, and that's why Annie is here this evening, to make sure you're aware of everything that's available to you. And it's not costly, so most of the things that they provide for you are free of charge. So go to the website. I know we're going to run out of time on this session, but in this next session, be sure to write down the website, the phone number, and everything else that Annie gives you. Annie, as we close this session, is there anything else you'd like to say in the next few seconds?
Just contact the Nye Communities Coalition, definitely. That's
Okay.
it.
I think you have time to give the phone number again.
Oh, it's 775-727-9970.
Okay. And when we look at Nye Communities Coalition, they provide so much to our community. These are the experts that we rely on. So come back and join us in our next session. Welcome back. This is our final session, and we've got some invaluable information for you. Now, all the information we provided already in the first 3 sessions is very valuable, and we want to make sure that you get all of this information. So I'm hoping you're writing down all of this information. Now, Annie, my guest, and I'm so glad to have her here this evening, she's got more information she's going to provide. And I want to make sure that anybody that has any medication around their house at all, any opioid medication, listen very carefully to what she's got to say, because it's something that's new to me, and maybe it's new to you, but you need to write this down and make sure that you're aware of it. So Annie, I'm going to turn it over to you and let you go ahead and educate all of us all over again.
Well, thank you so much, Tom, and thank you, viewers. So what I did want to go over was how we are providing at the coalition, at the Nye Communities Coalition, training for naloxone. This is a free training. It's free to the public. All you have to do is show up, call, sign up for the class. You can email. Definitely, definitely, definitely. This is a training that you absolutely should know. This is no different than knowing CPR and first aid, administering aspirin to somebody who is suspected of having a heart attack, administering an EpiPen to somebody who's having some type of allergic reaction, severe allergic reaction. This is called naloxone or Narcan. And naloxone and Narcan is used for anybody who is suspected of having an opiate or opioid overdose. So a lot of times people are like, well, what's an opioid? How do we know? We always tell people it's either way. If you don't know if that's what it is, we still encourage people to administer it. It's super easy. It's a little nasal spray. You just literally shoot it up the nasal canal, up the nasal cavity. And what we're finding is that a lot of people are overdosing on fentanyl. And I don't know if people have been hearing about fentanyl lately, But fentanyl is, it's an opiate. It's a very strong opiate used for pain, and people are obtaining them illegally. And sometimes they are obtaining them without even knowing that it's fentanyl. They are getting fentanyl that is coming in from China, and then they are misusing the substance that they're taking and not realizing that it has fentanyl in it, and then they're overdosing. And as a result, they're dying. So this medication absolutely saves lives. I've seen it work firsthand, and it's pretty amazing. And you're protected also under the Good Samaritan Act as well. So if somebody comes back and says, well, you know, they did more harm, you're protected. So it's just like giving CPR, you're protected under the Good Samaritan Act, that they cannot come back and, you know, use that against you or try and bring legal action against you for that. So that's really great also. And they provide these really amazing kits. So a lot of people don't know what opioids are. So I'm just gonna give you guys some statistics first, so, which are pretty alarming, I must say. So in the US, and now this is back in 2018, we're just getting our new numbers that are coming in now. Sometimes it takes a few years. But in 2018, it was reported throughout the United States that there were 67,367 deaths from overdose within the United States. I mean, if you think about that, if you're thinking about numbers and you're just sitting there really thinking about it, that will fill up a whole football stadium.
Yes.
Every seat. That will fill up a whole football stadium. And deaths involving synthetic opioids other than methadone, which are including fentanyl, continue to rise with more than 28,400 overdose deaths in 2018. And then in Nevada, these are our numbers, 372 drug overdose deaths involved opioids in 2018. 372. Deaths involving prescription opioids did decline from 276 in 2017 to 235 in 2018. Again, we don't have our numbers just yet, our new numbers for 2021. However, with the pandemic, we have seen the rise of mental illness, depression, overdose, substance misuse. The numbers are just off the charts. I mean, this has really thrown people through a loop. Heroin-involved deaths and those involving synthetic opioids other than methadone, so mainly fentanyl, remained stable with 108 and 85. So it's in 2018, Nevada providers wrote 55.5 opioid prescriptions for every 100 persons. So that's another huge number.
Yes.
And then I'm also just going to give you guys an example of opioids because people don't realize what they are. So opioids are codeine, fentanyl, heroin, hydrocodone, hydromorphone, methadone, morphine, opium, oxycodone, oxymorphone, and also they have, there was another one on here too, but those are really, I mean, they come in all different forms as well. So they're often, the medication is misused, and when I say misused, sometimes when you're prescribed that medication and you become addicted and you start misusing, you would snort it, smoke it, inject it, modifying the patches. They have duragesic fentanyl patches that you would put on, and they call them all different kinds of like street names. But in regards to that, if you suspect that somebody is in an opioid overdose, please, first and foremost, call 911. That's the other thing that we want to talk about, is that if you're with somebody that has overdosed on an opioid and you call 911 and you administer naloxone or Narcan, you will not be held responsible or accountable. You will not go to jail. They will just be grateful that you called and that you potentially saved somebody's life. And it's really nice because the federal government has provided us with not only being able to train the public and how to use this, but also to provide kits to people that they can clip onto their purse, they can clip onto their lunchbox, and you could just carry it with you and use it. It's not going to harm somebody if you use that medication.
Annie, how long is the training and when is it available?
So the training is typically, they hold it once a month at the Nye Communities Coalition. I can provide that phone number and you could call and sign up for that training. They have a training class and the training is super simple. It's usually 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Wow.
Yeah, you will leave with a whole slew of information, as well as I believe we provide 2 kits to everybody because fentanyl has been proven to be so powerful that when somebody overdoses, you need more than 1 kit in order to bring them back. Also, we will also provide the doTERRA bags as well. So the doTERRA bags are the bags that I talked about that you can dispose of your medication safely and in the privacy of your home.
Okay. Oh, this is good information. First of all, saving somebody's life. If you find out they're in a situation where you have the experience, you have the training, and you have the kit, and you can save their lives. And like Annie said, definitely dial 911 if they're having a medical emergency. You want to make sure you do that and get somebody else there with more experience. But at the same time, you've actually saved someone's life, and the law that protects you, the Good Samaritan law, that's when you're doing something to help someone else. You're not looking for pay or a pat on the back. You're just looking to help someone, and that's why the law is there to protect you. So Annie has provided all of this information to us, and all you have to do to set up the training is to call. Make the phone call and say, look, I'm interested in having the training. I'm going to let Annie say exactly what it is you need to ask for, but they'll let you know the date. And she said the training it's short, an hour or less. And I was thinking it was at least half a day. So this is great news. Annie, tell us more about how to set this up, how to get to the class, and so on.
So how to set it up is you would contact the Nye Communities Coalition, and that phone number is 775-727-9970, and just listen to the prompts on the phone and ask to speak with somebody in reference to the naloxone training, and they will point you in the right direction. You could ask for Jeff Hammer. He is in charge of that program also, so he can certainly get you signed up or point you in the right direction and let you know also when those next classes are available. They're free, and the supplies that you receive are free. You can also bring, if you have naloxone that you were given, you can bring that in as well. If it's expired, and we'll change it out for you. We'll give you fresh naloxone, and we'll dispose of your old naloxone for you.
Oh, this is great news. Again, I am so thankful that Annie agreed to be here for this evening's show. She's provided so much information. She's provided a lot of information on transportation and then substance misuse. You saw when her name was on the screen, you saw it said SMS, and that's Substance Misuse Specialist. So that's what she was doing, and I know promotions are good, and she's moved on to another position, but she's still going to be helping the community, and that's what it's all about. And later on, we'll have her back on the show to talk about her new job. So again, helping people is what Annie does, and helping us and providing us with all kinds of information. So Annie, again, thank you for being here, and I'm going to invite you to come back and join us for our next show. And thank you for watching the show tonight.
Thank you so much, Tom. I really appreciate it. It's been awesome. I can't wait to come back.
Thank you.